Museum of Anatolian Civilizations. We welcome you to the capital of the Phrygians. Although the name Gordium does not occur in a wide variety of ancient texts, the geographer Strabo, who came from Amasya, wrote in the 1st century BC that Gordium was in his time no more than a village. The name Gordion may be a shortened form of Gordiyon, meaning the place of King Gordias. As part of a thriving succession of civilizations over nearly 4,000 years, the capital of the Phrygians, Gordion, is a place of legends. The site was discovered in 1893 and first excavated in 1900. Since 1950, the 350 by 500 meter mound has been the focus of continuous archaeological activity. The sun rises once more at Gordion, as it has for thousands of years. At the crack of dawn, the archaeologists excavating this mysterious city begin their day. They work with all their strength and with the hope of solving yet another puzzle. Perhaps after a little while, a brush or the point of a trowel will come across a mystery belonging to Alexander the Great or even to Midas. They work with patience, sifting the earth and, if necessary, washing it so that not a single find is lost. First settled in the early Bronze Age, 3000 to 2000 BC, the time of the Hattic civilization, Gordion saw habitation across the Middle and the late Bronze Ages, 2000 to 1200 BC, the time of the Hittites. The Phrygian presence extended from 1100 to 300 BC. During this time, the site came under Lydian domination in the early 6th century. From the mid-6th century until the coming of Alexander the Great in 334, Gordium was part of the Persian Empire. In the subsequent Hellenistic or Galatian period, the late 4th to 2nd centuries BC, Gordium was a thriving commercial town. After a gap in habitation, the site saw settlement as a village in Roman and Byzantine times, the 1st to the 7th centuries AD. The final period of occupation was in the Seljuk period, the 12th to 13th centuries AD. The early Phrygian city was entered through a gate complex preserved to a height of 10 meters. The metal scaffolding seen there is part of an ongoing conservation project. Within the city lies the palace area, consisting of 2 courts divided by a large wall and flanked by megarons. The largest of the megarons, which yielded wealthy finds, is thought to have been the reception hall of the Phrygian kings. In the multi-roomed terrace building, the presence of looms and other textile-related materials, grinding stones for turning wheat and barley into flour, and provisions for cooking implies that these units were seeing to the creature needs of the palace. Phrygian territory included the entire provinces of Ankara, Eskişehir and Afyon, the eastern part of Kütahya province, and the northerly portions of the provinces of Konya, Isparta and Burdur. However, if you want to learn about the Phrygians, coming to the capital of Gordion in the sub-district of Polatlı will be sufficient. When the Phrygians came from Europe, they brought with them such cultural traits as tumulus burials and their language. Yet they also came under the influence of Anatolian culture, one example being the worship of Mata Kibele. We know nothing of Phrygian beliefs before they came to Anatolia. Yet once here, they embraced the concept of a mother goddess, a religious tradition that extends back to Neolithic times. The economic basis of Gordion included textile production from the wool of sheep and goats, probable leatherworking, agriculture, and iron and bronze manufacture. In the regions of Anatolia, the Phrygians came too from the Balkans. We still see today the well-known Balkan speciality of honey wine, which recalls the mixed beverage detected in the Great Tumulus. Having crossed into Anatolia from Europe in the 12th century BC, the Phrygians were to live at Gordion for nearly 1,000 years. While the city brings to mind the early rise of Gordias as king, still more so does it cause us to reflect on the legends of his son Midas, which assume an important place in Anatolian mythology. In the annals of the Assyrian king Sargon II, Midas appears as Meter between the years 718 and 709. However, is it appropriate for an overcome king to commit suicide by drinking bull's blood or by hurling himself from the ramparts? Is it really true that everything he touched turned to gold? Or again, was it because he was unjust to the god Apollo in a music contest that he received donkey's ears? Or did this fanciful notion arise because he had established a very broad intelligence network? And again, as sages believed, was it because Alexander the Great impatiently cut with his sword the Gordian knot, rather than try to unravel it and gain its good fortune, as he died at the early age of 33? No one knows, but roughly 4 centuries after his lifetime, Alexander's personality came to be enmeshed with the legend at Gordion on the part of ancient writers to carry down to the present day. For indeed it was because of Gordion's strategic position on his route of conquest that Alexander, king of Macedonia and conqueror of Asia, wintered here in 333 BC. In closing, we believe that the ongoing excavations at Gordion will continue to unravel many knots regarding the Phrygians and the archaeology of Anatolia. If you ever happen to come by Polatlı, you can visit the Alagus Karargah Museum, the Sakarya War Cemetery Museum, the Cannoneers History Museum, and the Agriculture Museum before climbing Duartepe, where in Gordion you can stand with King Midas on the shores of the Sakarya River and watch the unmatchable sunset. The Ministry of Culture and Tourism of the Republic of Turkey views itself as the custodian of a cultural heritage that belongs to the world regardless of date or civilization represented. Among the ministry's most important duties is the preservation for posterity of this heritage.